The more and more I am seeing of the War Within, the less I even want to try it out. When it first was announced, I thought the gameplay of what they announced, of what's going to be available to play, delves, okay, that's just a rehash content of 5 other things that they've added into the game, more Mythic Plus, Dragon Flying, which we already have, and that's it. The game, oh, war bands, that's just like a UI thing, it's not even gameplay. It looked absolutely fucking boring, and from what I've heard of what people have seen in the beta, it sounds like it's going to be very fucking boring. The only thing that I said could possibly somewhat save it is a darker turn to the story from the hugs and feelings of Dragonflight, which was absolutely abysmal and not Warcraft at all. And that was already coming off of the what the fuck is going on of Shadowlands, alright? And I already was having a what the fuck is going on at the tail end of BFA. I didn't quite like a lot of stuff that happened at the front end of BFA, but that was just more my personal opinion. With the exception of Rastakhan, okay? Rastakhan, they did him dirty, and don't get me on that. Anyway, besides him, I thought the first half of the war was okay, but the moment Sylvanas fucked off, and we're like, what? And then it turned into a Void expansion, it's like, what? What's going... Anyway, besides that, War Within, the first cinematic, that they kind of introduced with, Anduin, you have Thrall there, and they're talking about you can't escape from your past, but which, I don't know, which, by the way, I am making a video of how I think this, whatever the fuck they're doing, PTSD arc of Anduin is a regression of his story. It is not a progression, it is a regression for many reasons, and the reason why I'm writing that video out right now is because I saw this clip or whatever on Facebook, yes, I use Facebook, of oh, the story of Anduin up until now, but they started it at BFA. Okay, so what about all of his other story? What about the rest of his progression? You're only focusing on, hey, he put on his dad's he put on his helmet, had his dad's sword, went into battle, got mind controlled, and now he's a broken boy. Oh my god, what about all the other bullshit that has happened to him? Anyway, besides that, what the fuck else is going on in War Within, okay? Because if we look at this thing here, which I've already seen it, I'm just going to go through it real quick for this video. It is the most nothing burger of an opening cinematic ever next to Dragonflight, and I'm going to explain the reasons why. And then I want to talk about how everyone is going fucking like head over heels for Xalatath or whatever the fuck her name is. Fucking why, okay? I don't understand why, and again, I will explain why I think that. But first, let's go through this bullshit. I'm actually gonna skip a little bit ahead because there is really nothing to see here. So, oh, cool, in Earthen. Why are Earthens suddenly popular? Because we want to give them culture. I really fucking hate when people use that. They're like, oh, by the way, we're introducing a new race or a race that you already know, but we're giving them culture. They already had fucking culture. You're doing this to fucking grandstand because of whatever fucking SJW reason. Same thing with this fucking character here who's got the name Lothar. Again, you can't even have a character stand on their own name, on their own achievements. You have to give them the name of a character who has long been in the lore, has actually done great things, just to prop them up. Again, if you want to have some black female disabled character be a badass, go for it. The thing is, she's got no story as of right now. She's got no background as of right now. Build her up and give her a story besides standing on the name Lothar, which I still already don't give a fuck about. How some Arathi, which by the way are one of the most primitive human kingdoms ever, suddenly became whatever, advanced in technology enough to have a flying airship somehow crash underground with a magical crystal that simulates the underground as if you were in the surface. What the fuck is even going on here? Anyway, if we continue this video, then you see this, like, I don't know, troll furbog thing, like a D&D furbog troll half-breed. I don't know what the fuck these characters are. I saw them a little bit in the updates of, like, the leaks from... That's not how you strap in... That's not how you strap in your armor, by the way. Anyway, so you want to know why this is a nothing burger? Just pay attention. This dude, hammering. Visually, it looks badass. This chick, dancing, doing some tribal ritual. Visually, looks badass. That actually kind of looks cool. Putting on shiny armor. Okay, call to war. That's not how you strap, by the way. But sure. Okay, looks badass. Look at this big hammer, all the slag coming off with it, which, by the way, does happen. I'm a blacksmith in real life. I'm a welder in real life. That actually looks really cool. It appeals to me. But really, what is he hammering? We don't know, because that's all you see. It's just him hammering. Her dancing. What is the dance accomplishing? I don't know. She's just fucking dancing. That's it. What is this, putting on armor? I don't know. She's just putting on armor. I guess it's a call to arms because there's other people with armor behind her. Okay, why? There's the fucking airship, which, again, why do a bunch of Arathi, a break-off of Arathi, rather, are technologically advanced when the rest of them are known to be primitive? They used to have tribes. They were the first kingdom, sure, but they were not really known to be advanced as such, even in Warcraft 1 and 2. And then you have this kind of cool screenshot of... I guess they're going to be the Nerubian. I don't know if they're a different spider race, but let's just go with Nerubian. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and there's Zelatath. Because why? Why not? You're right. Oop, had to pause the recording for a second. Anyway, so going back now. Why is this boring? Because, again, what I just say. What is the Earthen actually doing? Hammering something. What is he hammering? Why is he hammering it? We don't know. He's just hammering. You don't get to see what it is. It's just hammering. The Faerin, or whatever her name is, chick. What is she doing? Strapping in. Why is she strapping in? Where's more screenshots of her? There. Why is she strapping on her armor? Don't know. Is it a call to arms? Possibly. There's people behind her. Why? Who knows? Could be these spider guys. We don't really know. And again, this is for the context of the cinematic itself. We know that they're going to war with these fucking spiders, okay? The thing is, they're not making it clear, and it's the spider... Again, what is the spider doing? Making a potion and smiling. That's it. What is the troll doing? She's dancing. Why? I don't know, she's just dancing. Okay, again, visually, looks cool. I like this little, like, tribal dance she's doing here. That, again, I think it's an absolute bullshit, world-telling concept, but whatever, it looks visually cool. The hammering, again, that fucking visually appeals to me. It looks badass. But why is he doing it? I don't know. Who the fuck cares? So, if you go back and look at any other intro cinematic, with the exception of Dragonflight, because that was also a fucking nothing burger. The first one, what were they? It was the world of Warcraft. The characters you know and love in the world of Warcraft. In Azeroth, which Azeroth used to be a kingdom name, but now it's the world name, but whatever. They were the Tauren, the Orc, the human in the world, and they were doing, like, they were actually, like, doing something, right? At first, it was just their introduction, and then you actually see them go to war with each other, because war is upon us. The drums of war thunder once again. That got your blood pumping. Let's fucking go, right? What was the second one? TBC. Again, same thing, your characters in the world of Warcraft going to fucking war with each other. Let's fucking go! On top of Illidan taunting you. A character, which, by the way, we're going to get to this in a second. This is going to relate to Zelatath, right? Illidan is a character. He's had an entire game based upon him to tell his story. Not his full backstory, but most of his story. We know his attitude. We know his emotion. We know his goals. We know about Illidan. We want to go find Illidan. Even if the story of why we were fighting him was not quite clear, because that's just TBC, it's a product of his time, even so, we saw him, we know who he is, right? We have his background, his story, his motivation to a degree. Even then, in the beginning, you see the blood off, you see the Draenei call to action. They're not doing much, but it's a call to action, and then you see the action of the orc, whatever, slashing down. Again, blood pumping, right? What's the next one after that? Lich King. Again, same thing with Illidan. He had an entire game and DLC about Arthas. Who is Arthas? His entire story is in a book. We have his motivations, his downfall, his entire story progression in a game, and a lot of tidbits and teasers to him in Vanilla WoW. We know who he is. We know his motivations. We know his past and his downfall. We want to stop him, because what is he doing in the cinematic that he's in? He is summoning the army of undead and a dragon. So he is summoning the army to come for us. We have motivation now to go and stop him. The next one after that, Cataclysm. Fucking hammering iron. Ding. Pain. Agony. Fucking Deathwing exploding out of the mountain, destroying everything you love, everything you grew up with. Towns, cities, destroyed, changed forever. The world is changed. We want to stop him. We know who he is just from tidbits of lore sprinkled throughout World of Warcraft, mentions of him in Warcraft, mentions and even sightings of him in the novels, because he has big parts in the novels, right? And we already know his children who have actively tried to stop us in the game. We have motivation to stop him. We have his history and his motivations of why we want to stop him, right? Next one after that, Pandaria. Not so much as heavy with the story development side of it, but even so, you get your orc, standard orc. You get your human, at this time, standard human. We don't really know much about him because it was explained later, but we can just get along with human and orc. Horde and Alliance, at war with each other once again. The cannon fire in the clouds, the mist, right? Oh man, and then you see them fighting each other. Horde, Alliance, they're going at each other, and then the panda comes in, right? And then they do the kung fu stuff, and it's like, okay, we have our Horde and Alliance, but we also have the mysticism of this world, and that's the point of Pandaria, is war to the new world full of mysticism. You know, not quite as blood pumping, but definitely got me hyped, got a lot of people hyped. And then, we have the all-time champion of the cinematics, Warlords of Draenor. Yes, the expansion was not good, but the cinematic was blood-pumping, raw, masculine energy, orcs, big, beefy dudes, right? Killing fucking demons, blood, like demon blood, just fucking cannons firing. That got your blood pumping, even though they were the enemy. We want to go and defeat them, but how can we defeat them? Because they are so powerful. Still, blood pumping, and a little bit of a tenderness moment with Garrosh there and his father. Great stuff, all-time top cinematic. You cannot beat it, ever. And the next one after that, Legion, again, call to action. You see your enemy, you see the characters, again, you know these characters, you know Sylvanas from Warcraft 3, all the way from vanilla to now. You know her story, you know her backstory, her trials, her tribulations, everything about her. You know why she's there, why she's such a great warrior. Varian, same thing. You've known him forever. You know his backstory, his troubles, his progression, everything. We are connected to these characters, and they go in for Azeroth to defeat the Legion, blood pumping, let's fucking go, right? What was after that? BFA. Was it? Yeah, it was BFA. Again, I don't care for the expansion. I think it was a terrible expansion, but a lot of people like it. And for all intents and purposes, the cinematic is still badass. I actually go back and watch the cinematic because it's really good. Again, just raw, Horde versus Alliance. Let's fucking go, right? Blood pumping, you know what's at stake here. Well, not quite, because we didn't know the context at the time, but we now know what the context was. And even then, there are stakes to this battle, right? There are stakes. They're coming for us. All of them. So, again, a reason why you're excited for this expansion, even though it ended up like shit. And even after the shit expansion that was BFA, came Shadowlands, another shit expansion. But even though, in hindsight, there's a lot of issues with the cinematic itself, it still got your blood pumping, right? It still is like, oh man, that's fucking badass. Two characters that we've known since Vanilla and even before Vanilla into Warcraft, Bolvar and Sylvanas, duking it out, right? The fight was awesome, it was badass, and it had stakes. Holy shit, she just fucking ripped the Helm of Domination, the Helm of Domination, forged by Doom Lords. Gone, and now the world is shattered. What the fuck is going on? So even though, again, how could she defeat Bolvar? It was kind of, but at the same time, it was visually stunning, and we know what's at stake. We know these characters, and we're somewhat hyped to go in there and stop whatever the fuck is going on. Now comes Dragonflight. Dragonflight is, I would say, more boring than War Within. It is so fucking boring, because 3/4 of the entirety of the cinematic is a stone dude walking. He's walking through the path, up the stairs, and now he's climbing this tower. Why? Who is this character? Why is he doing this other than he needs to light the beacon? Okay. The last part of it, where it was the dragons flying, really fucking cool. That little bit did get me a bit hyped. It's like, oh man, but you know what? The entirety of that whole video should have been dragons flying, fighting, breathing fire, something. Because that last little part of them, of Alexstrasza flying and all the dragons coming in, was pretty cool. We needed more of that on a bigger level. The majority of that video is literally a dude walking. That's it. That's why it is the most boring. At least, with this one here, there's a little bit more than just a dude walking. We at least have 3, 4, to an extent 5 characters. Where is she? Right there. To an extent, we have 5 characters that we are looking at instead of just one guy walking. So that's why I'm going to rate this one next to bottom, right? Dragonflight is still the most boring. This one is boring because... who the fuck is this guy? What is he doing? What is his motivation? Hammering a thing. What is he hammering? We don't know. He's just hammering. Okay. How about this bitch? Again, call to arms. Why? We don't know. She's just sitting there strapping armor. Not really doing much. Okay. What about this chick? Who the fuck is she? At least this person has a name, even though I don't agree with it. They have a name. This person, who the fuck is this guy, right? We don't know. And then who the fuck is this person? We don't know. What's her motivation? What is she doing? Why is she dancing? We don't know. Looks cool. Okay. That's this entire video. And then you have Spider Guy. What's Spider Guy up to? Making a potion. Why? I don't know. Looks fucking scary. I guess we have to go fight him. Okay. I don't know who they are. Why are they evil? Why are we considering them evil, rather? Why do we have to fight them? I don't know. Looks spooky, I guess. Looks spooky. And then we have fucking Xalatath. Please, someone, for the love of fucking God, explain to me why she is hype. Is she a hot goth girl? Is that it? Is that all that we're hyped about? She looks like a 2008 goth girl. I shit you not. That's what it looked like. And that's all she has going for her. Because she has no story. She has no character development. Oh, but she's been mentioned before. She was in Legion as a knife. She was a fucking knife. A knife with a soul attached inside of it that whispered to you once in a while. There was no character development. There was no real background about it. It was a fucking knife that was a artifact weapon that was like one of the few items that didn't get completely disenchanted after we defeated N'Zoth or whatever, right? No, wait, N'Zoth was Battle for Azeroth. What was the end of Legion? I fucking forgot. I don't even give a fuck anymore. Anyway, so, oh god, was it? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. She's one of the few weapons that survived, right? One of the few artifact weapons. It's like, okay, well, she's a knife. She whispers to you. Okay. Well then, in Battle for Azeroth, not even a full patch, in a minuscule, a micro patch. It was a micro patch, a 0.5 raid, right? It was a 0.5 raid, not even a full tier raid. Xal'atath comes up again for the minuscule story that they added for this raid, where she gets a body and is no longer a knife. That's it! That is it! She pops up for a few minutes, gets a new body, and it says, okay, bye, see ya, and she goes to the portal. That is the extent of her story. She has no background, no character motivation. Who the fuck is she other than she used to be a knife? That's it. So, with all the other cinematics that I showed you, Varian, we know who he is. He's hype. Deathwing, we know who he is. He is hype. Arthas, he is hype because we know who they are. We had entire games. We had entire books. We had all this knowledge, context, everything about these characters. Oh, what the fuck? Who the fuck is she? She was a knife. She gets a body. That's it. That's the extent. So, for the sole purposes of she's a hot goth girl, that's the reason why people are hyped. I seriously don't get it. It is the stupidest fucking thing ever. And now, the last thing I want to cover is this. This here does not scream Warcraft to me. You know what that looks like? It certainly is not Warcraft. I swear to God, if it wasn't for the fact that that Thrall, big hulking orc was there, this does not scream Warcraft to me. So I have two tabs up here. One of them, I literally just look at right there. I just typed in Warcraft. That's all I typed in. Hit enter, Warcraft. This is what you get. This is Warcraft, right? Orcs, humans, fucking war, and okay, fucking Alexstrasza crying. That's kind of funny. But look at this, just orcs and humans. Yeah, you get the movie, but here's actually like, you know, reforged orcs, big bulky orcs. Oops, you got trolls. Like, that's what you think of when you think of Warcraft. That's the first thing that comes up. This, all the characters I just mentioned, is the first thing that comes up. But you know what this reminds me of? Look at that. And look at this. It looks... Look at this. It looks like an off-brand Star Wars / sci-fi genre series. That's what it looks like. It doesn't look like Warcraft. Like, look at this. This was for the, here, open image in new tab. This was for the remix of Mists of Pandaria, which I thought the remix was absolute garbage, but this picture right here looks badass. That encapsulates Mists of Pandaria for me. And I love Mists of Pandaria. I thought that was a great expansion. I love this picture of Garrosh, just big, brutish orc, fighting the fucking people. You got, yeah, the panda and whatever the fuck this chicken is. Okay, whatever. You got Chen in the background. That's fucking awesome. That screams Warcraft to me. This does not. That screams Star Wars. It screams whatever the fuck. Oh, this is that new game that's coming out. Whatever. That looks absolutely fucking terrible. But that looks like that. And at least this is real Star Wars right here. But that is exactly what this looks like to me. You got the stars in the background. You got the characters all up front right there. Just looking like, oh no, stuff is happening. The only reason why she's in the front, even though he's technically the main character next to these characters that we've known forever, is because she's got a new lesbian haircut. I know Illyria has a background and has been featured in a book or two. I think she was in Warcraft 1. I don't really remember. I didn't really play Warcraft 1. I know the story of Warcraft 1, but I read the books. Yeah, she's mentioned. She's got a background. She's got all the stuff I mentioned that Xalatath doesn't have. But how she was introduced in Legion is not at all how she's written in the books or featured anywhere else. And certainly here is not what I think of when I think of Illyria. So yeah, if you think that... I don't really know. Just please let me know what you think of this new expansion in the comments below, because this is getting embarrassing right now. Like, I was at least going to try the new expansion. Like, I tried Dragonflight. I thought it was terrible. I quit after a month. But I at least tried it. I at least got to Mythics and ran up to, I don't know, Mythic 10. It's not far, but I at least got somewhere, right? I did the raid. That was the extent. I quit and never went back. And glad I didn't, because it looked like shit. This one I was going to at least try. I don't even know if I want to try it anymore. The gameplay looks abysmal. How they're treating the story looks like trash. Their priorities are in the wrong spot. And again, I'm gonna make a fucking whole video on motherfucking Anduin over here, because they've regressed his story so fucking much. Like, I have more respect for him in Mist of Pandaria. I have more respect for him in Legion. I have more respect for him in BFA. And to an extent, in even Shadowlands, where they could have done an amazing thing with his story, but instead they did. I'm gonna get to it into the other video. You know what? Fuck it. I'm over this already. I'm just getting more and more pissed off. I'll see you guys later.